Religion is one component of people's lives that has connected societies, races, and ethnicities for centuries. For lives that had once seemed hopeless, religion gave meaning and purpose. It has offered a universal language spoken by those who believe in a higher power. We find religion wherever we go, all the way back to the dawn of human civilization. However, in today's society, religious devotion and spirituality are no longer of public interest. Humans must return to their religious beliefs and rekindle their relationship with God. The practice of religion is beneficial to all people, in that it promotes emotional well-being, it can positively alter the brain, and it improves physical health. To begin, the practice of religion is beneficial to all, in that it promotes emotional well-being. The practice of religion is imperative to living a life of serenity and contentment. As we all know, mental health issues such as depression and suicide are running rampant in our society. Unfortunately, the rates of suicide and depression have skyrocketed as of late. However, suicide rates were constantly found to have a negative correlation with religious practitioners. This is evidence of how religion can be a source of happiness, as opposed to one of suffering and despair, as some would argue. An intriguing study conducted by Loma Linda University found that church attendance was a major predictor in suicide prevention, and could help to maintain mental health and combat illnesses. In addition, it has been said that religion can grant a believer with a much needed sense of acceptance and make them more resilient in the face of obstacles. It establishes inner peace, self-confidence, purpose, and encourages an individual to forgive themselves for their own shortcomings. Dr. Harold King, director of the Center for Spirituality, Theology, and Health at Duke University Medical Center, found that more religious people had fewer depressive symptoms. He stated, "People who are more involved in religious practices and who are more religiously committed seem to cope better with stress. One reason why this is because religion gives people a sense of purpose and meaning in life, and that helps them to make sense of the negative things that happen to them. Throughout the years, research has shown that belonging to a religious group brings psychosocial support that reinforces positive mental health, offsetting any tensions that could potentially pull them apart. When religious practitioners gather, they find motivation in the energy and identity they share with fellow worshippers, motivation that transcends the rituals and can be applied in their daily lives. One can always find joy in a community of friends and family, and this is only one way that religion is integral to feeling satisfaction in life. Moreover, the practice of religion is rewarding in that it can positively affect one's brain, in that it fortifies regions of the brain involved with logical and empathetic thinking. The human brain has been a great mystery to scientists for centuries, and remains so to this day. The brain's functions are complex and varied, and as a result, only practiced individuals can truly understand them. Neuroscience experts have established that religion is one of the most positive contributing factors to the brain. Researchers have concluded that meditation and meditative prayer, in which a certain phrase is repeated, can affect one's brain in a promising manner. This meditation acts as a stimulus for many of the brain's regions, notably the frontal lobe, which is responsible for emotional responses. Strengthening those brain regions that are stimulated by meditation helps people be more calm, less reactionary, and better able to deal with stress. Research has also shown that many of the central teachings of religion, including love, compassion, and forgiveness, may become integrated into the way the brain works. Dr. Newberg, professor of neurology at Thomas Jefferson University, has stated, "The more the certain neural connections in the brains are used, the stronger they become. So if a religion advocates compassion, the neural circuits involved in thinking about compassion become stronger. So we keep coming back to these positive feelings and emotions, and that reduces stress, anxiety, and can lead to reduction in stress hormone." Essentially, since the core values of most religions include love, generosity, and fairness, a person that is religious would consequently be more loving, generous, and fair. In addition, social neuroscience has published a paper discussing how religious thoughts trigger certain areas of the brain. In their experiment, they placed adolescent Mormons in an MRI machine while they completed several tasks. When analyzing participants' brain scans, researchers discovered that certain regions in the brain would constantly light up when spiritual feelings were reported by the participant. The nucleus accumbens, frontal attentional, and ventromedial cortical loci associated with attention, focus, and moral reasoning, respectively, constantly lit up as participants read from the Bible and engaged in other religious activities. Furthermore, the practice of religion is advantageous to all in that it promotes physical health. Throughout life, it's impossible to avoid complications in terms of physical health. What if there is a way to mitigate these difficulties? It has been stated that those who practice a religion are less likely to suffer from physical health problems than their godless counterparts. Based on a number of indicators, better physical health is directly correlated with greater religious devotion. To arrive at this conclusion, the researchers conducting the study chose a diverse experimental group and examined their subjects based on gender, age, and race. They found that those who were religious were also in better health, regardless of their gender, age, or race. Through extensive investigations, scientists identified that religion is related to decreased smoking and alcohol consumption, and in turn is responsible for less cases of heart disease and blood pressure among believers. Those who practice and participate in religious rituals have been found to be extremely robust. Firstly, there have been 16 studies carried out to assess the relationship between religion and blood pressure, and 14 of those studies concluded that the more religious tend to have a lower blood pressure. In addition, out of 16 studies examining religiousness and heart disease, 12 of them discovered that those who were religious had a lower chance of encountering myocardial infarctions or experiencing heart diseases in their lifetime. This is a factor of the constant exercise a religious practitioner gets. For instance, Christians and Muslims must attend their place of worship weekly, which forces them to move actively. Additionally, researchers proposed that the best rehabilitation for alcohol abusers would be the disciplined drinking habits of many religions. For example, Muslims are forbidden from the consumption of alcohol, Hindus abstain from alcohol consumption during Navarta, and drunkenness is a sin for Christians. Adding to that, it has been shown that those who are religious do not suffer severely from malagia, or muscle pain, as others. Muslims are required to perform their prayers at least 5 times per day. For example, the bowing position entails that the knees are extended and the hands are placed above them, which applies a downward directed force upon the knee joints. Scientists have identified this movement as relating to the strengthening of the muscles. Overall, the practice of religion is beneficial to all people. This is evident in that religion can promote one's emotional well-being, it can positively alter the brain, and it improves physical health. Certainly, this does not signify that those who are godless will not live a healthful life. However, it is clear that those who believe in a higher power and are actively engaged in religion do live a wholesome life, whether that be through optimism and happiness, being able to think empathetically and analytically, or having better physical health.